Welcome back to the Legit Crypto Lounge, everybody, the place that aims to bring together real projects with real investors. I'm Mark, co-owner of LCL, and I'll be leading today's AMA alongside Toby, the other co-owner, who will be chipping in with his own questions, as well as any community questions we get live via our TG chat. So today we're joined by a team behind Beast Protocol, and specifically Chris and Carrie from the team. I know Chris has got a couple of technical issues in terms of his mic, so I think Carrie's going to be leading the majority of it. So, guys, welcome along. Could you start, please, by introducing yourselves and tell us a little bit about your experience and specifically your role within Beast Protocol?
Yeah, sure. Well, great to be here, guys, and thanks for having this time. My name is Carrie White, and I'm the COO of Beast Protocol. So second in charge of the project. I first started my crypto journey back in 2017, just sort of doing bits and pieces on the weekend as like a hobby, and getting into that sort of more full-time in the last 6 months to a year, and seeing the ebbs and flows of the market and different strategies that work, and getting into the NFT range more recently as well. I missed the Bored Ape Yacht Club craze, but been getting into some other ones since then that have been good, and I've really enjoyed seeing how that part of the community has grown as well. So that's sort of my crypto journey to here. Got into the team via some... Got an echo now. Can you guys hear that?
Oh, yeah, there was an echo. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got that now. So some people in this group might know of BD Capital and Paul and AJ, who have also been on this show before. And basically they had this vision of starting this new protocol project. And so then we sort of joined forces. I was a moderator in that channel back in the early days, along with Chris, and another one, Martin Flamebill, who's the CTO. And basically we sort of joined forces and joined up, and Chris is the CEO, I'm the COO, Martin's the CTO, and we've also got Paul and AJ from BD Capital acting as our advisors as well, just to make sure everything is going smoothly and they can offer their support as we go along as well.
Okay, perfect. And in terms of your real world experience, what do you bring, Carrie?
Yeah, right. So I'm actually a teacher by trade. So I'm a primary school teacher. But I guess the time I've spent in the crypto markets and looking at the charts, and I've done some stock market trading as well. I've really enjoyed having the time to get involved with the community. My job in Beast is sort of the engagement aspect of the community with Discord, getting marketing ready, getting giveaways, getting games done, and just keeping the Discord active as possible.
Okay, perfect. And how about Chris? What's his background?
Can you guys, I just switched over to Bluetooth. Can you hear me any better?
Yeah, that's much better.
All right, cool. My apologies for that. So yeah, my background, I've been self-employed for my whole adult life. I'm 38. I'm a finish carpenter and also a real estate agent up in upstate New York. So, I've worked for myself my whole life. My experience with crypto is, I kind of describe myself as a basic guy. When I started off, like I don't really go way outside my lane. I just kind of keep it simple, which is really, when we're balancing out as a team, it's what I try to bring back to the table each time is, creating a safe atmosphere, safe project, being on the lookout, and just keeping things, as simple as can be, but, profitable for everybody. So, I'm pretty excited. The Beast NFTs are my first NFTs I ever bought. I get a lot of knowledge and, guidance from the guys, and, my main role is really on the business end of things, community outreach, just talking with people in a reasonable way, and managing community.
Okay, and is this your first project, both of you?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yes,
yep.
For me too.
Okay, and so obviously you've got a couple of advisors, so Paul and somebody else. We're obviously familiar with the other project that you were linked to and are partnered with. Who's providing the technical support, in terms of the contract development and things like that?
So that would actually be our other teammate, Martin and Paul, which you guys know. They team up pretty heavy on the contract side. And while we have a dev, they're the ones who go through everything and, make sure everything's on the up and up before it even, goes off the audit and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Right, let's get cracking and let's get delving into the detail of the project itself. First of all, do you want to give us an overview of what you are creating?
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal behind Beast Protocol is to create a treasury, which, we invest in other, staking protocols and nodes and create an income from that, which we can then, pay out rewards to our holders. And on top of that, we also have our staking, which we figured out in the beginning. We took things from projects that were good, were bad, and put it into what we wanted to form. So we came up with a staking protocol that has a minimum 80% APY, and which is set to last for around 2 years. So of course, when the staking protocol launches, it's going to be a little higher, but as you get more people, it goes down a little bit, and the math works out so that at no point is it going to go below 80%. And we can set the math on that because we decided to not have a minting function inside of our contract. So for a safe, stable way of doing business, we wanted to make sure that, that there wasn't any, compromise there, which could cause an issue. So we went ahead and set, a lifespan on it. And while that staking is happening, we're also building our treasury as the kind of parallel income stream for our holders. So the goal is to constantly build that treasury, pay rewards to our holders, and then also our holders can create an income from the staking. And as the staking goes and eventually dies out because we don't have a minting function, then we'll keep on continuing with our built up treasury. And then on top of that, we kind of threw in a fun part where we have the NFT collection. And the NFT collection was really just a way to kind of branch out to other parts of, the crypto sphere. You have people who hold, tokens for investments. You have people that hold NFTs. Some people hold both. And, when the guys first started coming up with NFT stuff, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't into it. I'm not an NFT guy. And my biggest thing that I kept on, like I told you before about being basic, I just went to the table and I was like, guys, if we're going to do it, let's make sure it has a utility behind it. So what we ended up coming up with was that our NFTs are a ticket into the treasury. And just like holding tokens, you can hold just an NFT and still get reward payouts from the treasury. So you don't even have to hold tokens.
Okay.
You can hold both. You can hold just the NFT, and if you do so, we made it a bonus that when we start doing our treasury rewards starting in January, we're going to do for the first 12 months. It's going to be heavily weighted towards the NFT holders because our token holders are going to be getting a nice payout through the staking protocol. And since we're not going to be staking the NFTs, we want to give people the incentive to hold their NFTs. So, 40% of that treasury reward system is going to go towards NFT holders, with 10% going towards token holders. And down the line, after 12 months, it's going to even out, even Steven 2020. So, yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell there. And Carrie, anything to add on that?
No, you covered that well, Chris. Just at the end of the 12 months, 40-40 split between tokens and NFTs, as well as the percentages for compounding back into the fund, and also a percentage to take care of like the dev fees and running costs of the website, etc., like that.
Okay, cool. So obviously I've had a look at your white paper in advance of this AMA and made a few notes. The way I see it is, like you've just explained, you've broken it down into three elements. You've got the staking, the investment fund, and the NFTs. Presumably you added in the staking element as a way of creating holders so that you can then build up that investment fund, and for people to make what you're hoping is passive income longer term.
Well, what we're trying, what we really want to do is promote investing. We're not trying to just make a pump and dump. We're not trying to just say, hey, here's your token, let's see how high we can get it to be worth. We want to create, we feel like we balanced it out really well with, being able to hold through the staking and getting, your passive rewards, from two different parallel income streams. So it's really, everything we'll preach moving forward, and we have in the past, it's about DCA, investing responsibly. There's a reason we didn't want to go, our token is going to be launched on the Avalanche chain, while we launched the NFTs on the F chain. And there's a reason for that. And it's because, we found, having come from the BSC chain, that there's a lot of just casino atmosphere. And we're trying to reach out to, a different kind of group of investor who, we're sinking a lot of time, investing a lot of time and money into building the backing of Beast. And we want people to see that with us being out in front of the project, us showing that we're not trying to just be here for a year and then when the market dumps, we got to run. One thing I like to stress to everybody is that we all have day jobs. So I'm a real estate agent and a contractor. Carrie's a teacher. Martin works in government. Paul and AJ are both, financial bankers, investment bankers. So, we don't have to sit here and rely on the marketing, budget or anything like that coming in. And then if, the market dumps, we don't have to bail out. I mean, if the market's in the tank, we can sit here and figure out how to, kind of shift a little bit and make it work for us. And we're not worrying about getting a paycheck from Beast. So, that's just kind of a heads up for everybody is, our investment in our time right now is strictly time. We don't get paid for it. We're here trying to build an awesome, sustainable, long-term project and company, for all of our holders.
Yeah, no, I got that from reading the white paper and stuff, that you're in it for the long haul, which is why you're putting in these elements like for the staking to cover you for 2 years. And obviously the investment fund is not going to be an instant thing that's going to make people a load of money straight away. So they have to see the bigger picture there. Just on the staking element, obviously you've got this minimum 80% APY. It's still, given the market conditions and the fact that you are going to have to steadily build up this investment fund to take over the staking, still potentially seems quite high. Obviously, looking at this supply, 40% towards staking, that in itself is obviously going to create some sell pressure, isn't it? As the larger token holders can earn and, effectively sell their tokens that they're earning as well, can't they?
But, everybody's there's no way to just negate sell pressure unless you just put some ridiculous high tax or, harpoon taxes and stuff like that. If people sell, there's a tax there that takes funds from the sell and puts it right into the treasury. So, our goal is, anybody who has a long-term vision, and we'll constantly stress that, is hold on, let people sell. I mean, it's not like it's selling and money going nowhere. It's going into a fund that's going to invest to make people more money. So, it's kind of our view on it is people are going to do what they're going to do. And every project's going to have sell pressure. And it's just, having the constant marketing and talks and AMAs with people, to let them know it's okay. People, should be making some money in this business and, in the crypto, space.
Can I just jump in with a question on that?
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that your vision really isn't in the token price, but it's more about the treasury and the return that you can get from that by holding a bigger percentage?
Well, I mean, we want the token price to be, fantastic, of course. We want it to be, up there. But when you think long term, it's not centered around token price, because we all see that, token prices up and down. And if you just look at charts, the one thing when I hear people, when I'm in other spaces and I see people complaining about, launch and now it's in the tank, if you look at the charts and see what other, tokens and coins are doing out there, I mean, some of the blue chips have been, in dire straits for months and months. And it's just kind of, it's what they do. It is crypto. They go up, they go way down, they flatline, they go way back up. And while all that's happening, the treasury's building, it's compounding, and no matter what, it's constantly compounding. So it's there for the long haul to pay.
Cool.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess with the whole staking element as well, they can compound as well, can't they? Because you're going to have certain locks, aren't you, on the staking contract, so that people can relock. What do they look like?
Yeah, they're not going to be super long locks either. I mean, our thing is to really give people the flexibility. So we're not trying to get people to, lock their tokens up, in investing. We don't believe in it. It's people's money. Should be able to use it. In staking, we want a little bit of a lock, and Carrie can catch me up on that. I think it was like 7 or 14 days, something like that. So it's not a horribly long time where you're going to be too nervous about the market doing something crazy. So yeah, we want to give people the flexibility.
Yeah, it was 14-day lock with a 5-day compounding. They can lock it for another 5 days, I think.
Cool.
And so each 5 days, then people choose obviously whether to take out or to relock.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
And there's a small fee if they want to emergency withdraw the money, the fund. There is, but there's a tax involved with that as well.
Okay. I think from memory it was like 4%.
Yeah, 4%. Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, right. Let's have a look at the investment fund then, because obviously that's the main long-term feature. It feels. How, obviously, reading the white paper and stuff, there's things like nodes that you're investing in and stuff. So do you want to take us through a bit more of the detail of that? What you plan to invest in?
Yeah, I can do that if you want. Yeah. So we've one of the original investors in BD Capital, which is Paul and AJ's original one. His name is Robert. We've actually got him on board as our advisor for our fund. He's big into crypto. He's got a list on Google Docs that he shares with us on about 25, 30 pages long of everything that he does involving liquid staking, nodes, what the best APY is. He's just the whiz when it comes to all things investment. So we're lucky to have him on board, and he's basically going to guide us on what investment we should make into the fund. We have started off with 2 investments so far. So I've actually started off the fund early. We've got into 2. There's one Evmos, which is on the Cosmos Atom network, and another one which is liquid staking AVAX. So we sort of made a head start on the fund even before the NFTs were launched. So we wanted
How was that being funded?
That was being funded basically by the seed investment sale that we had for the token back a few months ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've been pretty stingy. We wanted to put a good amount of money into building the NFTs and the website. But otherwise, we're pinching the pennies pretty good to make sure we put it in the right spots. And we've been talking along the way of like, hey, if we can get this started early, I mean, that's what investing it is, starting early. So more the merrier, and we were able to, so we hopped right on it.
What's
Okay.
happening with that funds that's being generated by that at the minute?
It's been going well. So I'm not sure if you know much about EVMOS token, but that's basically a deflationary APY coin based on the Atom Cosmos network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's getting us compounding returns of around 1,200% at the moment. So that's been good for the fund, and there's a lot of use cases coming up for that in the future. So we'll hold on to that. We'll obviously dollar cost average in and out at points, but that's been a really good foundation for our investment fund at the moment.
And how do you plan to use them funds once you start taking them? Are they going to stay in the pot? Are they going to go back to the seed investors in some form, or are they all staying within the project?
So they're going to be staying in the fund for now. But basically, we want to get the fund up to a sustainable level. So we don't want to basically start our reward system early, because that would just kill the fund off. So we want to make sure it's at a sustainable level, and then we will be then going out and doing the rewards for the holders.
Do you have a figure in mind?
We haven't. We got rough figures, but we're subject to change, and obviously subject to the market conditions as well.
Okay. Yeah, but like right now we're setting the date. Sorry to interrupt you there. I was just going to say
that's okay.
Right now we're setting the date of January. So we're looking at the calendar year of 2023 to be the first year of the fund reward payout. And I mean, we wanna say it's going to be X amount or this amount, but I think we all know things are so volatile. We just wanted to get it going, and especially once we get through the token launch, that there is going to have its own tax amount that's going to be going into the fund to build that even more.
Okay. Once you start taking money out of the fund, do you have a mind how much you want to keep compounding into the fund and how much you want to be giving to holders? I might have missed that, but
yes. So the first year, when I think Chris mentioned this before about the 40-10 split between NFT holders and token holders. So in the first year, there's going to be 40% for NFT holders of the total allocation of the rewards for the fund. 10% of that's going to token holders. Then a big 40% is going back into the fund for compounding. And then we have around 10% give or take for the dev fees and for the marketing and ongoing costs. And so then by the second year,
cool.
That's going
just one more question related to it.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry, I had a bit of lag then, so I didn't realise you were talking. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, no, that's okay. So after the first year, then it moves to an even-Steven split. So 40% for the NFT holders, 40% for the token holders, and then we're going to go with a 10% for the compounding, or 10 to 15%, and then 5 to 10% for the dev.
Okay, cool. And there was one more thing related to that. You mentioned about January being the first potential release date of the funds to holders.
Have you the calendar year? Calendar year.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, how are you going to base that on? Are you going to base it on like pro rata holdings, or is it going to be whoever's holding at that time?
So it's basically, it goes back to the percentage, so not the percentage, but the tickets to the fund. So tokens and NFTs basically have, so each NFT is X percentage of the total fund allocation. So that's how it's going to work. Same with the tokens.
Yes, sorry, you might have misunderstood my question a little bit, but let's say your release is coming up in January.
I know what you're saying.
Did you get it, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, it's not going to be based on when you invested and how long you've been holding for, because that's what really you have seed for. You have private round, you have pre-sale, then you have the token price once it hits the market. So obviously anybody who's getting in earlier and earlier is at an advantage. So that kind of evens out the having to be at an advantage by investing early to get more rewards. We just say, you know what, if you're in here early enough with us to get in at a great price, you're getting more at that price than having to wait down the road. So,
Okay.
instead of being a length of time per holder, it's just going to be based on how much you're holding, and everybody's going to be getting in at a different cost based on when they, get eyes on us, really.
All right. And then going forward, how often do you plan on paying it out from the investment fund?
We haven't done I'm thinking at least, we were talking about it the other day, whether it's a bi-weekly or more than that, or maybe a monthly, or maybe even, more. We just have to, we've been dancing around the, how the contract pays out a little bit, just because of, making sure we're on the up and up when it comes to, if you're on a structured payout, you're getting into an area there that, I hate to say the S word, but, you're getting into, a security issue. So we are working right now to make sure that, we are not having to worry about that, but that we're still giving everybody, a constant, good drip coming at them. So yeah, it's just one of those things that, we definitely talk about, and we're sorting through some of the, not to say it's like a, how you say it, but it's also a how you release it. And we want to make sure we're good to go. So it's going to be fair enough to where you don't have to sit there and go, well, crap, I just helped for, 2 months. I didn't get anything. Like, no, we're going to make sure people are happy with it. And if they're not happy with it, they're going to let us know, and we can make sure that we are listening to people, and we make sure that they are happy. So, we're all ears. So if there's feedback down the road, we're going to hear it, and we're going to make changes.
I mean, I guess it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because people like to know a schedule and when they can expect something. But on the other hand, a randomized payout kind of helps prevent any manipulation of people dipping in and out, just trying to take advantage of that payout.
Exactly. And Paul and AJ were dealing with that also, with kind of the buyback and burns with BD Capital and some other stuff. So, and it was the same thing with the BUSD payouts. In a lot of tokens, when you have the tokenomics with the reflections. So we need to avoid the manipulation, because unfortunately, we know we're in a market where a lot of people would be happy to manipulate.
Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yep, that's true.
Or if there's a way, there's a will in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. I'll let you carry on, buddy.
Yeah, cool. So obviously you explained that you've used some of the seed/private funds to build up this fund already. So what's that fund currently worth?
Terry, you got stats on that?
Yep, just getting this up now. Last time I checked, so we put in 4,000. So we put in two lots of $2,000 US dollars investment. So we put in $2,000 worth of EVMOS and $2,000 worth of liquid AVAX. And that's up to, I checked on I think 2 days ago, it was sitting at around 5,000. Just a touch under 5,000. And that was with the AVAX going down a little bit, but also the EVMOS going up quite a bit as well.
Okay. Yeah, decent return percentage-wise already then. And looking at your white... Go on, sorry, we're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, it was kind of one of those things, like, we're lucky to have, our teammate Robert there to help guide us through some of the stuff. And, some of the people in here know Robert as well, and he's super switched on, when it comes to investing. So, he knows when to get in at the right times. He led us into our first investments with just a small holding, and we see the amount that we're able to invest. 4,000 is going to be nothing when it comes to, once the tokenomics kicks in, we have actual funds to, invest more. So we're pretty pumped. We're jazzed up about it.
Cool. And on looking at the white paper, there's quite a bit of focus on nodes. So have you got any in particular that you're looking at?
Kerry?
Yes, we have a few. There are some coming out, especially the validator kind of nodes coming out in the next few months that Rob's keeping an eye on for us as well. But in terms of that, so we're looking at nodes, sometimes node-based projects. So if a project is investing in nodes, we'll look at that. But we do want to sort of get into the core of nodes and actually invest in them ourselves. And our roadmap also shows later on we're trying to invest in some master nodes as well. And we know they're expensive, but we know that they also give amazing returns off the investment. So that's what we're building up towards in the roadmap. But of course, for now, we'll stick to the validators, the smaller validators, and the staking nodes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's crazy to see that and to think, you know, you're thinking tech, and that's really where our approach is, investing in some tech here with the nodes. But even nodes can be I mean, Kerry, am I wrong? Robert said he's putting a risk level. So like when he presents a investment to us, he puts a, you know, low, medium, high risk on it. And, you know, I'm thinking tech, I'm thinking it's all kind of even across the board, but each one of them still has their own risk to them that we're assessing when we're looking into investing.
Yeah, exactly. And nodes are dependent on network traffic as well. So of course, networks that are haven't got a lot of network traffic, then obviously we won't get as many returns as the ones that are more popular. And that's the issue, getting sort of balancing the ones that are expensive and good network traffic with the ones that are sort of starting out and maybe some diamonds in the rough.
Sure. Okay. It's just, deciding the risk to reward ratio, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And how are you going to go about doing that? Like, what is going to be your risk tolerance?
Well, I mean, personally,
yeah.
I was just going to say, Kerry, I mean, personally, you know, we take the guidance from, you know, Robert a bit to give us the assessment, but we're not looking to be a high risk investment for people. You know, especially starting off, you know, we take, you know, people's investment very, very seriously. So we're not trying to go out there and be cowboys with people's money just to hope to, you know, play the casino game as well. So we'll probably, you know, keep it pretty low risk in the beginning. You know, we'll dabble maybe a little smaller in some medium stuff. You know, and something really has to be, I don't know, there's got to be something special about a high risk for me to want to invest other people's money into it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Going to say the same thing as Chris. It's just we're going to use our I guess the guidance from Rob and the risk levels to make sure that we don't do anything that's too out of the ordinary for the investors and their money.
Yep. Okay. And then obviously in terms of funding this investment fund, you've obviously already put some of the seed money towards it. Presumably some of the pre-sale funds will also go towards it. Is that right? Or is that all going towards marketing and liquidity?
Kerry, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, so there's going to be a percentage of that going towards the investment fund and the marketing, of course, but the bulk's going to be going. Martin can confirm this, but the bulk will be going into the liquidity and so on.
Okay, we'll get into the pre-sale structure in a minute in terms of like how much you're raising and how much you've raised already and stuff. Just sticking on the investment fund. So obviously the rest of that fund is going to be built up by the tokenomics in terms of the buy and sell tax, isn't it? And looking at this, you've got a buy tax 10%, sell tax 15%, 4.25% of the buy tax is going towards the fund, and then 6% of the sell tax going towards the fund. And like with reflection tokens, obviously the key is volume, and especially now at a time when the market is dying. What do you envisage your volume to be like, and how much realistically at this point do you think you can raise from these taxes?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, we're you know, we're again, again, it's so to make some kind of, I think, to try to make an educated guess in crypto, I think is I don't know. Like you see people talking about where they think a coin is going to be at 10 years from now. It's like, give me a break. It's a great question, and I think in normal investing in the fiat world, like it's an appropriate question. But I mean, with the market being so wild, I mean, we're just really out here hitting the ground, talking with people, trying to let them see that, we have a long-term vision. We're not going to try to blow smoke with, crazy numbers because nobody really knows. Our goal is to just build a legitimate, stable community and, keep in touch with them, constantly update them, and just have people invest and let it rip and see how it goes.
Okay. And have you got anything to add on that, Carrie?
I was going to say that we started this. The sort of the first meeting we had of Beast was back very early in 2022, and there was a down market, and we kind of wanted to sort of plan it so we could sort of predict when the market was going to turn. And all the signs back then were leaning towards like the September, October, November sign as sort of a bullish sign, and it still is to a certain extent. So we were sort of hoping that, I know AVAX is down a fair bit from what it was in January and Feb, down to $15, $16, $17, and it was like $100 back 7 months ago, 8 months ago. So we're sort of thinking about that and thinking, well, market's going to pick up, and that's going to bring our price up as well. Might get some hype going with the volume, but as Chris said, we haven't got a crystal ball, so we can't give any of those kind of predictions really. No,
that's obviously understandable, and it's a difficult one, isn't it? And in a way, it's the best time to buy. When we're near the bottom of the market. I know there's a conversation going between Toby and somebody else about have we hit the bottom yet or not, but it feels like it's the right time to start building up an investment fund. But on the flip side, obviously, because we're near the bottom of the market, it's nobody wants to buy, so then that volume is depleted for you to be able to build up those reserves to create that fund and build it up.
Yeah, it's the best time and the worst time.
Well, yeah, it's the best time and the worst time. But I mean, it really comes down to, I think, anybody who's in here, right now knows that this is the best time. Money's made at the bottom. It's not when you buy in at the top. So we're trying to take, the smart approach to investing, and, whether it's the fiat, stock market or crypto, we're trying to get people to kind of see the light here, and create a, stable, legitimate project and company where people go, hey, you know what? If I am going to invest, like, it kind of makes sense what they're saying. We're trying to do a little bit of a crossover on just kind of, the approach to investing, and, people who can see that are going to invest, and people who are scared just aren't. I mean, you guys spend enough time in chats and all this stuff to see the stupidity out there. I hate to say it, but some people, they're just not having anything to do with it. Whereas, we're excited by the market conditions, and not because people are upset. I mean, it kind of gets annoying sometimes, but we're excited because we're doing our investing now at this point where, like, I don't know, I get all amped up because the only way, we're down there. The next place we're going to go is maybe a little further down, but we're going to go back up. And when we go back up, it's going to drag all of us with it.
What's really funny is people, when we were in the middle of a bull run, people are like, oh, I need it to dump so I can get back in. I need the lower prices so I can buy. It comes down, and then everyone's like, okay, I've lost interest. Like, I'll be back next bull run.
Yeah, and then they're back next bull run, buying halfway up. And next thing you know, it's going back down. And then they're sitting there going, "Oh my God, I lost money." And it's like, if you looked at it with a stable mindset, and kind of, I don't know, took the real, I don't want to say mature. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but just take a more, mature outlook at investing and what, it is. I think we're in a right spot right now to be able to launch a project. We're getting people out of the woodwork, come in a little bit and go, oh, all right, maybe a couple things you say make sense. I mean, when you say DCA to somebody, they're just like, wait, what? And then you try to explain it to them, and they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. And it's like, hey, we're not going to tell you what to invest in, but if we have a little bit of advice on how to, we're happy to share that with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the right time to be buying. So just while we're on the tokenomics section of it, looking at all these figures, so you've got 3% going into liquidity from the buy side, 4% from the sell side. Obviously, presumably the purpose of that is to try and build something a bit more stable.
You guys still there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, obviously you're trying to build it more stable. Were you coming in with an answer there?
I was just having a giggle at the crickets in the background. I love it.
I thought you were going with like you just stating something. I'm like, no, yeah, we're trying to build something stable. I mean, that's like the master plan here is, like we're trying to add in, a healthy amount for marketing, because without marketing, you're not going to, just because you reach people doesn't mean you can stop. Whether it's in crypto, it's in real estate, whatever you're doing, any business, you have to keep marketing no matter what. So, we have a healthy bit in there for that. We want to make sure our fund grows. So of course we have a healthy bit there, for that as well. And, I'm in a couple projects right now where I don't think they hit the mark right off the bat with liquidity. And, stuff was vested, it hit the open market. Everybody pumped it and dumped it on the open market. People that are vested, now there's no liquidity for anybody. It's a bad situation. So, we want to make sure liquidity's, healthy as well. So.
Yeah, you definitely want it to be healthy. Yeah. In a way, you kind of want it to be volatile so you can create a load of highs and lows. But at the same time, the way the market is now, you create that high, then you create the low, and then all of a sudden it never recovers again. So you've got to be really careful with that one.
Yeah, but what the thing is that we're trying to make sure we have enough going to the fund so that when we do create, not we do, but when, the market does create a low, and we're invested in proper investments, then we're able to, give people those rewards and then use the marketing budget to market that and let people know, like, hey, if you're sitting on your token with its one, worth of being a token, you could have another token that actually, keeps on paying you the rewards. So, we want to make sure we have what's, enough there to keep on letting people know about us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this 0.75% and 1% towards company, what's that going towards?
So that's going towards, stuff like taxes, paying the tax man to do the tax, building website stuff. We're going to be constantly doing, more tech, more upgrades and everything. So it's just something sitting there to make sure that we have, all company stuff taken care of, and everything outside of marketing that we can, keep on using to actually operate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, makes sense. Okay, couple more questions.
You know what? Sorry, real quick there. At first, I've always been in like the beast, the Binance and all this stuff. I wasn't big on a dev tax to begin with. I don't like the idea that it says dev, but it's not dev, it's development. It's not like going to pay us. It's going towards development and constant upgrades to these protocols. We're going to be sitting on. We're setting up to sit on the rewards from the treasury and staking just like everybody else. That's how we make money here.
Yeah, because looking at the supply, so there's no team tokens, is there?
Kerry, we did do a little bit of team, didn't we?
Yeah, there's part of the trade supply, I believe, that's going into team. We got about 6% of, might be 5%. No, more. No, so 6% is going to the whale fund for BD Capital, which is our parent, our partnership company, and that's their investment fund. And then we have about, I think, 4 to 5% that's going to be split between the 5 team members the tokens as well.
And presumably that's vested in terms of the BD capital.
Yeah, nobody sells and buys from the BD capital. I mean, that's there to build the BD capital fund. So, like traditional investing, it's a root fund, which is, like a hedge fund will have other funds underneath it, which it generates revenue from. And that's exactly what that's there for.
Okay. And the team, is that locked or vested?
No, it's not locked or vested. But I mean, people know us well enough now to know that we're not here to just do it pump and run. I mean, we're going to be staking our tokens. We're in it for the long haul. So at the end of the day, it's like you have team tokens, but did anybody ever really touch team tokens? No. So if anything, I saw Paul and AJ when they had BD Capital, some of their team tokens they used to pay other people, kind of transfer them to other people to pay for parts of the project. So if anything, it might be used for that case down the road. But no, it's just we needed a little bit of something coming from the project to begin with, because if we had to buy all of our tokens plus put all this energy into creating the whole project, I mean, we'd be broke at this point. So a little something there.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. We did touch on the NFTs in terms of their value and the utility. Let's just go back to those a little bit. So let me get to the page on the white paper. There's going to be 3,333 in total. How much are they going to cost to mint?
So right now the NFTs.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kerry.
I was going to say this. We had our whitelisted sale for the first 24 hours back on the 3rd of September when we launched. That was at a cost of 0.01 ETH, and now public sale is going right now. It's live, and that's at 0.02 ETH.
Okay, and is there a difference? Obviously, you've got these rarities. Will they have an impact in terms of their utility towards what they gain from the fund?
Yeah, we're actually talking about this right now. So we are going to be looking at that and expanding. There's no different use case at the moment for the rarities, but that's something we're definitely going to implement down the line, and sooner rather than later as well.
Okay, so for now, it's like just good to have a legendary, but hopefully that will mean something later down the line.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then you've mentioned that you're going to be launching on Avalanche, and the reasons why you're not doing BSC. Is there a reason specifically that you chose that over the others, ETH, for example?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say real quick, so I can speak to that. So the low cost of the Avalanche network to be able to have transactions, it's a lot. Like when you go use Trader Joe's, it's basically like the same thing as using Pancake Swap BSC. Very, very low gas fees, very fast, and there's actually a geography difference. That's the right way to say it. Geographically speaking, it's a different draw from regions of the world. I don't know how to say that in a more profound way, but we're reaching other countries, whereas the Binance is in certain areas of the world. So it really is for trying to draw a different investor in.
Okay.
And just on that as well, we looked at the chains and looked at the transaction rate on different chains, and we sort of saw Avalanche was one of the best. Ethereum is at about 30 to 40 transactions per second at the moment. It might change, or it will change with proof of stake coming soon. I think BSC is around 300 to 600 per second, but Avalanche can do 4,000 to 5,000 per second, and some testing has shown up to 12,000 per second. So in terms of scalability, Avalanche is certainly an underrated chain in our opinion.
Okay.
Do you plan to try and make it easy for people who've never used Avalanche before?
Yes.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. I mean, there's no reason. So like what was it I bought? I bought some AVAX for the first time, not too long ago, because we're launching on AVAX. So I bought some Avalanche, and I was going to, I was going to swap into some stable coin on AVAX. So at first I was like, oh man, here we go. And again, back to the whole part where, I'm very reflective here, self-aware. I'm a simpleton when it comes to, crypto. So I didn't want to mess it up. And I went over to Trader Joe's, and sure enough, it was so simple. It's the same thing as using PancakeSwap, just with a different one.
Yeah, like I think sometimes people just need a little gentle persuasion to try something else, because I mean they're all the same. I've got 4 or 5 different chains set up on my wallet. I mainly use BSC and ETH, obviously Kronos when that was a thing, but it's kind of gone. But yeah, they're all the same. Once you set the chain up and stuff, that it's just a case of finding the swap and doing your thing. So yeah, hopefully you can convert some BSC people over.
Yeah, I mean, well, because we came from BSC, and I think it really comes down to just like it only takes a second, a couple minutes to go outside your comfort zone, and we're happy to just talk. I mean, we had a couple newbies come into BD Capital who had never even touched crypto before. We actually found them on Reddit, I think, in some normal investing site, fiat. So we brought him in, and I think it was Scott, who's in here right now, helped, one of them, literally from the start of how to invest in crypto. And we're all like that. So believe me, I've been on the phone with people, if you're in the US, I'm happy to text, whatever. We want to make sure people, feel good about it and understand it.
Cool.
Just one more question on the NFTs. Obviously, we've got this range of 3,333. Is that the only range that you're going to launch?
Yeah. That's Barry, you still in here with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. So I remember you saying you had to teach soon. No, we're not gonna. I mean, at the moment, we don't have any plans to launch any more NFTs. Down the road, things might change, but we don't want to, like practically mint more NFTs, add something to our supply, because it is tied to tokenomics. So,
yeah.
If anything, we want to keep it stable, where it's at.
Cool. I was going to say, then people don't have to worry about their share being diluted by future ranges coming in.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that, because then we're shooting ourselves in the foot too, because we're investors. So, I mean, if anything, we want to keep it stable.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Toby, anything from the community or from yourself before we go on to the pre-sale?
No, I don't think so, mate. We've just been chatting a little bit about Chris's crickets and lying in a field, and the fact that we should probably do our AMAs from there, mate. I was just saying it wasn't a comparison for me last night, stuck in the car trying to escape the kids, but Chris has got the right idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm either sitting on my front porch or my back porch, and now there's somebody hay in my field. So I'm just, I try to get away, but I apologize if you hear the birds.
So it's kind of therapeutic.
It's nice, mate. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Okay, let's go into the pre-sale. And obviously, you've had the seed private so far. So can you just run through the figures quickly for that?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I summoned. Hopefully, he can talk. I summoned our king of numbers, Martin, who's in here right now. You see him as Flame Bolt. Martin, are you able to chat on here with us? Just talk some numbers real quick. You can unmute yourself.
You might need me to unmute him.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, not Nims, is it?
No, it's you'll see him. He has the hoodie on. We've got Flame Bolt.
Yep. You just have to unmute.
Hey, hi guys.
Hey, thanks, Martin. Appreciate you hopping on, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so Martin, if you wouldn't mind taking us through what's happened so far in terms of the seed and private sale.
Yeah, all right. So we had a seed and private sale. Actually, we started that from the BD Capital community, basically. So we started with a seed sale, and we had a target in mind, and then those guys went completely crazy and overflooded our complete seed sale, and we had to just drag everything over to private. So it went really fast, really hard. In case of numbers, I think you guys already talked a little bit about trade supply and etc., right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna drag up a sheet real quick because otherwise I don't know the numbers out the top of my head. It's not gonna go well.
Yeah, we know that trade supply is 35% in total, and
Yeah,
45% is going towards team, and then 6% towards BD Capital.
yeah, it's around at the top of my head. It's like 22.5 million token, of which 18.7 I think is in your sheet there. It's like the part that we're gonna spread out to the people, and the rest is gonna go into the liquidity. Let me check. No, I'm just confusing a little thing. Yeah, 26.2, that's a complete trade supply. Six of that is going into liquidity. The other 20 is going to be spread out. So I'm going to quickly grab the sheet to tell you what's basically left for the pre-sale.
This is a lot better, guys, than me trying to talk numbers with you. So stand by with Martin. I would just everybody would run for the hills.
Give me a minute. All right, right now tokens for pre-sale left is 11 million, and the tokens we sold in private and seed together is roughly 6 million.
So how much like dollar value did you raise between seed and private?
Oh, that's a good one. Top of my head, because we dropped a lot with AVAX, etc. I think it was around 30 to 40K. Anyone?
Yeah, I think it's about 35,000 was the end. There's like 33 or 35,000 USD after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we compare that to launch price, then what level of discount are these investors getting, or did they get?
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab the numbers from what we had back then because it obviously changed. We had like this comparison in BNBs to keep it easy for all the BSC people we had coming in. Mm-hmm. So we had like for the seed round, we had for one BNB we had 50,000 tokens. For the private round it was 47,000, and then for pre-sale it's 44,000, and at launch it's gonna be 40,000 round. So these numbers did change or are going to change because we have everything set up to dollar price. So people who bought in seed and private didn't lose their share, if you kind of get what I mean. Because the price of AVAX dropped heavily, we are going to like connect it into that.
So they're going to get the dollar equivalent at launch?
Yes, correct.
Okay. How much are you looking to raise at pre-sale?
Let's see. Because that was 250 BNBs at the price of $380. So you gotta help me out a little bit here.
What we're looking at now?
$95,000.
So this is pre-sale numbers we're looking at. You're looking to raise 250 BNB worth.
Yeah, but that was at the price of $380 when BNB was that price, because we translated everything from BNB to AVAX. Okay. So this is the easiest way for me to calculate. So the price in dollars, what we're going to raise now is around $95,000.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. And what platform are you using to raise to do the pre-sale?
Yeah.
Right, so Go
Oh,
ahead,
you,
Mark.
you want to take it from here? Yeah, I can do it as well
Yeah.
because basically we have the same information. So we were
Well, no,
looking
I'll
at
just
different.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were looking at different platforms. Yeah, like you had Avalanche and Avalanche, all those kind of things, and we contacted them, and those people were really well slow in talking back and whatever. And at some point, they just asked us for money or whatever. So we were like, okay, this is not the place to go. So then we kind of went back to where we started also with BD Capital to do it on Pink Seal. But to be honest, Pink Seal is not really, for myself, it's not my favorite platform. You always have this kind of moments in time where they just dump all the tokens they kept from the pre-sale. So right now we came in touch with Blockstar, if I'm correct, saying that correct?
Yep.
Look,
I've been
yeah,
talking to David Hunter, and we hooked up with him through the guys over at Ember. And honestly, like, I love it so far. I mean, we got it nailed down in specifics, and this is kind of new news to all of our investors also, because we were going with Pink Sale, but you know what? They're not the people's launch pad, if I can say that correctly. Like, we don't want anybody dumping on us, from somebody who we're trying to launch with. We have a really good feeling about David, his knowledge, his community, his platform. So, at the moment we're heading down that path with him.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know if you know, but like David's a big part of our community as well with Blockstar and stuff. So,
well, yeah, I was talking to him today actually, and he goes, yeah, if he texted me, he's just like, yeah, if you just want to, tell them you're working with me, they know me over there. I'm like, oh, okay, sounds good.
yeah, so no, we definitely.
He's a good guy, David, and he knows his stuff. There's no doubt about that. Even though I won't say that to his face, but
no, I think that's a little bit of an understatement from what I hear. Him knowing his stuff.
Yeah, you're probably right, but listen, let's not blow his head up.
No.
That's who I've got a friendly wager with about the market is at the minute, actually. So yeah, we just a bit of banter go forward between David and us. We like winding him up.
Well, just a heads up for you guys real quick. Kerry had to head off to teach, so he just wanted me to extend his thank you to you guys. So he just peaced out.
Okay,
no problem.
Cool. Yeah,
cool.
No worries. I'm conscious of time as well. So pre-sale, is that going to be whitelisted or is it going to be public?
Martin?
Yeah, we were actually talking about that to somehow actually whitelist that, but we're not completely 100% set on that yet. But mainly we don't want like this what do you call it, budded pre-sale or whatever. But then again, I am not really read into Blockstar yet, so I don't know exactly how their platform is handling it.
Yeah, so I still have to have a really good meeting with David and just go over the platform and how it's handled. I just know, at this point, my conversation with him has pretty much been, listen, we're pretty much secure in the feeling that we're going to go with you. We have to nail down specifics on it. So as soon as we have the specifics on that and how we can handle possible whitelist or just open public on its platform, we'll figure that out and let everybody know.
Okay. And when are you looking to hold the pre-sale? Have you got a date in mind?
Yeah, so we were just talking about that as well. We were initially going to launch probably the first week of October.
Is this the actual launch?
This is we're talking actual launch of the token. We were looking at the first week of October.
Yep.
We're thinking right now we might go to maybe the third week, something like that. We have the marketing team over at Ember building up the rest of our website right now, and we want to make sure that we have all the marketing and the website done, and we're not just trying to like launch and then market. So this stuff's being built and we're going into version 2. We have a landing page at the moment, which is basic. It does the job, has our white paper on it, but what the guys are building is a real platform for people to go to and get information on us. So we're going to wait until we have that, get some good marketing out there. And, realistically, I think we're going to just wait a couple more weeks and try to do it towards the mid to end of October.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Let the market calm down, see what's happening then. So in terms of the pre-sale, and presumably that'll happen just before launch.
Yeah, yep, right before launch. I mean, Carrie and Martin and Paul, those guys, they get more into the fast-paced kind of pre-launch stuff. So we're not going to keep it open for way too long. We're going to make it a pre-sale launch type situation most likely. But again, we have to go over that with Dave and how his platform works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just let's say like a lot of people don't like it to be in a pre-sale and then wait a week and then launch. So we have that in mind. Like we're gonna do it probably within 24 hours if possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. You definitely don't want to drag it out, do you? And lose that focus and that interest on your project.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah, cool. Okay, yep, that all makes sense. Toby, have you got anything to add?
No, mate. I know Nim's had a couple of questions, but we'll keep the recording sweet, and then we'll do that after.
Cool. Okay, yeah, fine. We'll open up to a Q&A at the end, post-recording, for YouTube purposes. So I will just ask one more question. Chris and Martin. Sorry, were you going to say something, Chris?
Oh, no, I was going to say, what's up? What you got?
All right, what is it? Eagerly waiting. Yeah. It's a question we always like to ask the Legit Crypto Lounge. We always finish up with this question, and it's about the long-term success and the viability of projects. And we feel that it can't be achieved without a clear vision from you, the project owners. So the main question to you is, at what point does this project become a success to you personally?
Put it this way, is that it's hard to think of things as a success, because I think when you think you're successful, you can still grow. So I actually think about this all the time in my professional life as a contractor and a real estate agent. I mean, at what point I can build a house, with my bare hands from the start. But at what point does that make me successful? Is it in terms of finances? Is it? I can confidently call myself a master carpenter, but does that mean I'm successful? So when it comes to the project and the company, really, I think success is the fact that we're always, there. Every time we're looking to advance it and to better it, I think we're being successful. Because the moment you go, oh, we're successful now, it's just like, well, what next? You constantly have to say what next in order to grow. That's how you build a long, sustainable business. So that's in my opinion.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like the thoughtfulness of that and the always wanting of more. I like that.
Cool. Thanks.
Martin, did you have anything to add?
I have one thing to add, because I think I haven't been here the whole time because I've been busy also with a lot of the NFT stuff. But I think they have talked about it, that we have a staking a part of it, and at some time it's gonna walk over into the whole fund thing. And I can tell you, at least this is gonna take a year, maybe 2 years at least. And in crypto already, that is like a long time. Well, I can promise you, in 2 years we're still running like 100%, still working on this, because we're not just building a project, we're also building a network of people. They probably talked about Amber and BD Capital as well. We're constantly looking for people who actually want the crypto space to work, to kind of battle also let's say all the scams that are happening right now. I've been rug pulled many times. I think all of us have been. So there's another component to it for me. It's also the connections, making the connections. It's bigger than just this project.
And guys, if I could just add one thing quick, it's that one of my biggest things with this project is that we're not trying to just be behind it. I always say we want to be in front of it. So that's why I'm happy to be on here and give people my full name, You know, I'm not trying to have like a stage name. I mean, my name is Chris. My last name's Imperato, and that's my face on my profile picture. You know, like we're out there. Like you can Facebook me. I'm around. I'm an average guy that lives up in upstate New York. You know, so we want to build the trust out there. You know, and the more people that we connect with and build, you know, relationship with, that's success in my mind. Is getting people to go, oh, you know, I know it makes people uncomfortable to tell them your last name in this space, but you know what? At the end of the day, get uncomfortable for a minute and then let's chat. You know?
Yeah, I like it. No,
And I can 100% confirm that's his real name. I've seen his driver's license.
Oh, that's, you know what? That's true too. We all, yeah. I mean, when we first started this, day one, when we said, "You guys in? We're gonna make time for this." We all have we have an admin channel where we, even Robert, our advisor, you know, we threw our driver's licenses in there. Everybody knows everybody and where we live, and you know, we're connected.
Yeah, and that is so important, isn't it? Because we've seen with other projects and stuff where the team feel like that they're really, you know, close, and it only takes one of those people to be, you know, not feeling it, and then not being legitimate and building up that trust with the other members of the group and stuff, and all of a sudden they are the one that caused the rug, and everybody else takes the flak for it because you're all part of that team.
Yeah, and then so like when we go through our CertTech, you know, we go through Interfi and all that, everybody's going to have every little detailed piece of their information on their life jotted down. So, you know, even though we already know it with each other, because believe me, if one person pieced out of this project and took a penny, I mean, that's a penny out of my pocket and everybody else's pockets. And that's not cool. So we're all here to make sure and hold everybody accountable. And we'll have, you know, extra checks and balances in place as we move forward to make sure that there's just literally zero chance of something happening.
Yeah, and same goes for whoever's creating the contract for you.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: you don't have somebody create a contract and then not also double check it, triple check it, and quadruple if you can. You know, that's the biggest thing, and that's where really the redundancy that we are putting in place with everything we do. I think that's you know, just as important as everything else.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I think for the purpose of the recording, we'll leave it there. Just want to say thanks a lot. Really appreciate you coming and sharing your project with us, Chris and Martin, and obviously Carrie, who was with us earlier. And good luck with pre-sale and the launch of your token, Beast Protocol. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate you having us on. I mean, it felt great coming into a room with actual people. So this was awesome.
Well,
you know, and I gotta say,
definitely.
Yeah, no, and I gotta say, so Nims, who, if you don't mind me, Nims, gonna share his name. He's Chris also. I met him yesterday in another group where we were commiserating on how miserable people were in that space. So he reached out and he's like, "Hey, tell me about Beast." And I'm like, "Hey, you know, this is Beast. This is me." I said, "We're doing this AMA tomorrow," and he came ready with some questions, so I'm pretty pumped. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we'll get cracking with those questions in a second then.